Hello, students, reading students. Mr. Mitchell here, your teacher. Okay, this is the kickoff of Module 2. Module 1 was all about assessments, looking at your reading, your vocabulary, and we'll talk about what's due today. This is 9/8, getting closer to fall. And yep, here's one of my paintings again. As you know, I'm an artist. So, okay, hopefully these first 2 weeks hasn't been too big a shock. Welcome to college. Take notes as you listen to these videos. I try to make them short, break them up in chunks if you feel it's too long, but everything on here will be quizzable. Okay, let's start our journey with Module 2, and this is main idea and context clues, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Students, what should you focus on each week? Okay, I want you to all be successful, so here are the things to look at. Today, that is due 9/8. We have a vocabulary test due, and I have the directions on Brightspace, and it's very explicit. You'll just hit the link. It's going to take you to Townsend Press, which our book is affiliated with, and you're going to put your username and password that I've assigned to you, and then a screen's going to pop up, and then off to the corner, you're going to see a different area where you could put your the class code, and that's going to give access, and you should have gotten that code in the mail by buying our textbook. And you should all have bought the textbook by now. See me if there's any delay. And you're going to get on that website. You put in your username, password, and it's going to kick off 100 word vocabulary test. Don't stress about it, but take it seriously. If you don't know words, simply say, I don't know. Don't take too long. Don't grab Google. This is not a test, but an assessment to see the strength of your reading. I just want a true picture. I don't want a fake one by you, maybe grabbing Google or a dictionary. So that is due today. What else? You should be reading or have started our 5 People You Meet in Heaven. I'm hitting the link on Brightspace. It has its own link where there's a PDF, or you can take out the book from your local library or buy it used on Amazon. This is a great book to have in your library. You should have started it already, and I'll be quizzing you on Zoom, asking you how's it going. Don't lie to me if you haven't read it. Just say I haven't read it. I don't like it when students lie to me, and then when I ask questions, they don't know it. Just be always honest with me. I respect a student who's honest and hasn't done something, as opposed to somebody making excuses. You never have to do that with me. I can see right through it. First 100 pages of this novel due at the end of the month, 10/4 as we go into October. Take notes as you read. Very important. Just don't read it and think you're going to retain that all as you read a novel. Okay, you should have all been registered now on Connect Lab and have done the first lab called Intro to Connect. Okay, now don't stop anymore. Keep going. Go in that Connect Lab on Brightspace, and just 1 to 2 per week, start doing a Connect Lab. 10 are due. You should be about 10 completed at the end of the month, and you don't want to binge that. I'll notice who's binging it, and I'll kind of warn them, please don't do it. You can't do 10 of these babies at the end of the month and try to make it a good learning experience. You won't remember anything, and it's just going to be learning out of desperation. Connect Labs are awesome. They're going to give you that independent practice outside of this class, outside of Zoom, and challenge you the way maybe I won't. So very important, those Connect Labs. You can't take the final exams without them. All of them are due. The ultimate deadline is 11/29, or no final exams. Don't let it weed you out. A lot of students do. Okay, next screen. And here is a picture one last time of the 5 People You Meet in Heaven. The opening discussion that is on Brightspace today, that is open. So you want to go in there, and the next slide will explain the class discussion. But that's a picture of the outer covering of the hard copy of this wonderful novel. And students, just like you did with the icebreaker discussion, it's the same thing. Now we have one about this novel. You're going to go in there, you're going to hit the discussion tab in Brightspace. It's listed in Module 2. And now this is going to give us a chance to write. Not only is this a reading course, but literacy is all about writing too, to get you comfortable with writing, because you're really going to need it if you take English 099 or English 101. You're going to have the ability to express yourself. So here are the discussion questions in that. You're going to create an original thread and then respond to 2 others. Here are the choices. Awesome topics. I mean, they're just great. Do you think there's a heaven? What's your idea of heaven? Or you could choose B. You only have to choose one of these to discuss to start your thread. What person has been the most influence on you in your life? Describe how you want your life to impact people. Or E. Describe a situation where you wish you could do over. in life. I have many of those, babies. Ooh. So that you're going to create an original thread, respond to two others, watching your grammar, full sentences. This isn't texting. You don't want to use lowercase. You're being graded on your grammar and your ability to express yourself. See me if you truly do have writing issues and you're having trouble with that. We'll get you a tutor because you don't want to ignore it. If you can't express yourself in writing with making errors, it's just only going to haunt you. So that's going to be due next week, but you start that today. Okay, students, here is our first strategy. It's called topic. Simply, the question is going to ask you on an exam or quiz, what's the topic of a paragraph or a passage? Okay, and topic simply is, it's very general. It's like putting a big umbrella over a paragraph or passage. It is the big picture. It would be like this class. What's the topic of our class? Reading strategies. It is not vocabulary. It is not the main idea. The topic of this course is reading strategies. So very general. So questions are going to ask you, give passages or paragraphs a title, or what is it mostly about. So that is the topic strategy. Now, how do you find it? You just look for repeating words or phrases throughout a paragraph or passage, and then you glue it together by giving it the topic or title. So that is the topic strategy. We'll practice on the next slide. Okay, students, let's practice the topic strategy. So you want to read this paragraph. You can pause the video to read it. And if you're not pausing it, then I'll read it right now. Music helps the human body in many ways. Music helps people relax from stress. Music improves a person's attitude. Finally, music helps a person's self-image. Okay, you look for those repeating phrases. There's a tip-off. This is something about music, music, music. Okay, now let's go for the choices here. Music, is that the topic? No, that's too broad, too general. What are we talking about? Music history? Music genres? No, no, that's just music by itself. No, this paragraph's doing something more. Is it music and self-image? Well, it was mentioned, but you know what? It was mentioned once. That is not the topic either. Okay, that was just mentioned once. That is way too narrow. Here comes the answer. Benefits of music, and that's what was really being discussed. Music helps the body, music helps self-image. This is the benefits of music. That's the topic. So on the surface, these questions look easy, but they're not. That's what makes reading awesome. These critical thinking skills, you have to evaluate, you have to weigh to make draw your conclusion. So that's why reading is awesome. It's good for you, and it set you up for any kind of job. Transferable skills. So that is the topic strategy. That's how that one's used. And now up next is the main idea strategy. Okay, students, we have the topic strategy. The second one is the main idea. Okay, so topic and main idea are friends. Topic says a little bit, main idea says a little bit more. Topic is the main point or argument that the paragraph or whole passage story is trying to make. Okay, it's very general as well. How do you find it? Well, a stated, and we're talking about stated main idea, which means there's going to be a sentence that is the main idea. Main ideas can be unstated, and we'll talk about that later when we get to implied main idea where it's not stated. Main idea lives in the topic sentence. I'll repeat, main idea lives in the topic sentence. How do you find it? You look for a general phrase in the first paragraph that can be broken down, very general. Gun violence is on the rise for many reasons. Heroin is a dangerous drug for many ways. It's going to sound like sentences like that. Where can the main idea be? All over the place. It could be in the first sentence, second, third sentence, or depending how many sentences there are, it could be the last one, or it cannot be there at all. But for this strategy right now, we're talking about the main idea that is there, the stated main idea. Snitch phrases to look for that you know you've picked the main idea correctly. Several reasons. Mr. Mitchell is a crazy teacher for several reasons. This course can help you in many ways. Boxing is a dangerous sport, and I'll give you at least 5 points. Things that main ideas can be broken down. So let's practice here. Okay, students, let's practice the main idea. Okay, so we have our same paragraph, and we found the topic by looking at repeated words, ideas, music, 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 and somehow beneficial of the human body. and then your main idea should be related to that topic. And there it is. It's sitting there right in that first row. Music helps the human body in many ways. Now, this is a very easy example, so don't get arrogant or confident. I sometimes use very easy examples to show my strategies. So try not to pat yourself on the back too much because it's 6 inches away from a kick in the you-know-what. But that is the perfect main idea. Notice how it's first. That could have been last. It could have been in the middle, and it could have been not there at all. But snitch phrases to look for are those many ways, many reasons, because phrases like that let you know more is coming. Your main idea, which is also called the argument, should leave you wanting more, and that's how you know you're standing on the main idea, when it leaves you wanting more. And students, look at these 4 sentences, and that'll sometimes help illustrate how like the main idea, topic, and supporting details are related. You want to you can pause the video, just take a look at those 4 sentences, and then I'm going to ask you which one is the topic, what's the main idea, and there's going to be 2 SDs or supporting details. So we will look at what the winners are in the next screen. Okay, students, so we'll see who the winners are. And which one is the topic? Absolutely, the shopping addicts. Notice how topic is very short. Topics are titles. Now I want to know, okay, what's their main argument here? What's their main point? Oh yeah, there are 2 types. Notice 2 types, that's a phrase that can be broken down. Look for phrases like that. And main ideas are kind of general. And then what are the 2 types? Well, you have the daily shoppers, which I kind of do that myself. And then you have the binge ones that they do it either on a regular basis or every once in a while, and when they do it, they go to town. They thrive off of sales. I know a lot of people who are binge buyers. Sometimes I'm in that mode too. So that's an illustration how all these type of strategies are related. Okay, now we're in our second area. We talked about main idea and topic, and I'll give you time to practice with your assignments. We'll be practicing those over and over. Now let's talk about vocabulary. Okay, I want you to remember this and write this down. Words are power. Have you ever met a successful person that doesn't have a big vocabulary? How's your vocabulary? The assessment will tell us a lot. And it's not to make you ashamed, but empowered. The more words you know, you're not going to be at anybody's mercy, and it's not going to interfere with your reading comprehension. Words are power, so people can't take advantage of you. And we'll illustrate that here. Okay, Mr. Mitchell's brain is quite porous. Am I being slammed? Do you know that, or do you not know it? Do you think I'm being complimented? Or do you think somebody's really nailing me, making fun of me? Be careful. If I don't know words, I don't know what porous. I don't know if people are complimenting me. I'm going around my day being very ignorant. Does this second sentence help? It's like a barrel with many holes in it. Yeah, I just got dissed. I just got disrespected. Porous, that means I can't hold information. My brain is Swiss cheese. I'm kind of an idiot, and I'm kind of irrelevant and old. So be careful. Words are power, and it's not to make you know words so you can abuse other people and make fun of them. It's just so you're not at anybody's mercy. You're not at government's mercy. You're your own person. Words are major weapons. Not surprising that reading and knowing words outlawed in many countries. In America, it was considered a crime to be able to read years ago, especially for people of color. So remember, words are power. Okay, what are some techniques to solve vocabulary words, to build your vocabulary, to solve them? We have context clues, which we're going to read about. And then you can break words down into their parts, or you can grab the dictionary or Google if you have the time. Sometimes that's not practical on a test. So context clues, great. What is that concept? It is using the words around an unknown word. The high schooler or the immature reader will see a word they don't know and run the other direction. The college reader should be PO'd, challenged, angered a little bit that they don't know a word. It's like a little slap in the face. That doesn't hurt, but should make you really mad. That should bother you. You should circle back, read the sentences before it, pronounce the word out loud, and read the sentences after to try to get the meaning. It's not the best method, but it'll allow you to at least keep on reading with an educated guess. So that is context clues, and that's what we're going to practice. Okay, here is the strategy. Feel free at any time to pause these videos, and you should have the closed captioning off so the words aren't getting distracted what the words they choose for me. But yeah, context clues use words around an unknown word to solve its meaning. And you can also break words apart into its prefixes, suffixes, and root words. We'll discuss that in a later slide or a later presentation, if not this one. So context clues. Okay, here are the different types of context clues. We'll move this along. We're getting close to the end. A definition clue. I don't know a word. I'm going to come across a word I don't know. The author is going to help me out. He's going to put it in parentheses, commas, dashes. He's going to tell me what it means. He's going to say, he's going to spoon feed it. So definition clues define the word we don't know, the difficult word. Synonym clues. I don't know a word. They're going to give me an easy word paired with the hard word, either right next to it or maybe a couple sentences apart. That's a synonym clue. Synonym, similar. Okay? Contrast clue. I don't know a word. They're going to give me an easy opposite word. Mr. Mitchell is irate. Mike, on the other hand, is very happy. Well, what's the opposite of happy? Angry. That's the contrast clue. Inference clue. I don't know a word. You guys are all brilliant. You can do this. You don't know a word. You just use your logic. The sentence is going to give you so many clues and hints. Use your smarts that you have and your background. Example clue. I don't know a word. The author, the writer, is going to give me examples. And I'm going to use those examples and make it a determination about the word I don't know. And that is an example clue. I'll come up with a definition using examples. Okay, the next slide will make it a little more clear. Okay, here's a soliloquy. Is a speech made by a character in a play that reveals her thoughts or his thoughts to the audience. Okay, as this actor, I've used soliloquies a lot. I've had soliloquies. But from the sentence, we don't even have to think about it. It's a speech. They're telling you what it means. Okay, after class, melee or brawl broke out in the hall. Mr. Mitchell bit a student on the leg in the brawl. Yeah, I would do that. I don't know what melee means, but I know what a brawl is. That's a fight. That's a synonym clue. Give me a word I don't know, hook it up with an easy one, helps me make my determination. Mr. Mitchell's breath was toxic, just like arsenic and lead. Okay, I don't know what toxic means, but I know arsenic and lead are deadly and bad. That must mean toxic is very, very dangerous. My breath in this case was toxic. Yeah, that's true, probably after I eat garlic. Oh yeah. Okay, most students were elated. The class was over for the year. Mr. Mitchell, however, was quite sad. There's a contrast clue. I don't know what elated means, what the heck, but I know what sad is. And what is the opposite of sad? Happy. Contrast clues are the toughest to do because students think, oh, it means sad. No, for contrast clues, they're going to lead you down an opposite path by saying, however, on the other hand. So choose the opposite of the easy word. Last but not least, experience clue. Or inference. I don't know what versatile means, but I sure as heck know that somebody who can do all those things, chef, mechanic, and a ballroom dancer, that's a well-rounded, well-talented person. Just like a jackknife can do it all. Okay, that is context clues explained, and the assignment today will allow you to practice those concepts. Okay, that is it for this video. Again, take notes. We have an assignment that's going to allow you to practice main idea and context clues. That's going to be due a week from today. We'll make it 9/17. So go for it. Enjoy the novel. Do the vocabulary placement test. Have a great weekend. This is the Bills opening weekend. Go Bills. And let me help you be successful, okay? If you're feeling overwhelmed, get a hold of me, especially my dormers. Don't just sit in that room, play video games, and not do anything. Help me help you be successful. Okay, we will talk to you all soon. See you on Zoom.
But that's okay, 'cause he's Joe